What's up everyone, Jason here again with another video on the shocker. Today we're going to actually be doing the regulator. Now, the only time you should ever really do this with your regulator is if you're noticing peaks, if your FPS is just fluctuating too bad, or a leak. Okay, other than that, let's not monkey too much in depth with this. So for this, you will be needing a spring hook. Okay, and of course I have an old school view loader paintball tool here that I've had for years. And you're going to be needing both of the huge Allens that came with your marker and lube of your choice. In this video again, we will be using the Pooty Paintball Magic Lube. Okay, so the first thing you got to do, take the biggest Allen they give you, right here in the bottom, do about 2 to 1 turns to help loosen it. Now, I don't recommend to keep doing it like this because you're going to scratch your ASA. So loosen it, flip the Allen, begin to turn, and you will be able to get this out. Okay, and as you can see, once you get to the point, the spring is going to pop it. Okay, yet again, always use a towel or a surface or something for the lubricant so it doesn't get all over the place and so you don't lose any little parts, because that's not going to be pretty. Okay, the next thing you got to do, be very careful. Take the spring hook, and we're not going to, I can show you, there's going to be your piston system right in there. You got to get that out. So be very careful. Okay? So unfortunately I can't show you this on the video because I need to be careful myself. Once you start feeling it move, you can just slap it and it comes right out. Okay? And definitely, if you're not used to regulators, I recommend putting them the way they came out. So you're not putting the regulator in upside down or anything. The final step, not the jumbo, but the little baby huge one. Put it right inside and begin to turn. Now once you feel that there is no more pressure and it's kind of just free flowing like it is now. Oh, still not loose. Sorry about that. There it goes. Now it's going to come out. Voila. Okay. We'll put that to the side. There is your regulator. Now the one thing you definitely want to be careful of is when you put this back in, put it back in together. So as you can see, we'll actually do this just so you can get an idea. That is your entire regulator right there. Very simple, not complex, straight to the point. So, now what we're going to do is, this might be a little hard, but I'm going to see if we can do it. Okay, so, if the bottom hole is beginning to leak air, it is going to be in this section right here is your problem. If the middle hole begins to leak air, it is going to be in this area is your problem. If the final hole begins to leak air, it is going to be around here. Is going to be your problem. Now, once we start experiencing more problems, if we do any, then I'll be able to determine exactly what O-ring it is. But at least this way, you can know. So if this hole is the only one leaking, you just got to take out the bottom piece, and so forth and so forth. So now we'll go ahead and we will lube this. So same thing. If you're not familiar with regulators, I recommend keeping them in order. So same thing, we'll take a soft microfiber and just clean off all this stuff. Now, I usually clean off the spring too. That's just a habit. So same thing, we'll clean off the piston. Make sure there's nothing there. clean off the piston spring, and clean off the top. Okay, and try to get as much old gunk as you can, especially off of your regulator, because once it's in, it's in. So same thing, we'll take some of Pooty's Magic Lube here and begin to lube up the O-rings. So same thing like in all my maintenance videos, I get a little bit on my fingers and I actually rotate it. And the good thing with the Pooty Paintball Magic Lube, you don't need a whole lot. So that's already completely done. So same thing. Get a little. Now whenever I do my pistons, I always have a habit of even putting a little bit of lube on top where the spring comes in contact. That's just me, but it's just something I've gotten to the habit of doing. I even put some lube on the spring sometimes. So there goes that. We'll put that back in like that. Of course, we got to take it apart in a second. Now, the same thing. Now, this right here, with the bottom part of your regulator, only has one O-ring, which is right there, dab smack in the middle, but still lube everything else up. Same thing, put a little bit of lube on the spring. Okay, so believe it or not, voila, we're done with the regulator. The hardest part about this regulator is just getting everything out. And like I said, definitely take your time. Do this when you know you have a problem. That's when I recommend doing regulators. If not, I've had markers since the first day I've owned them. I never had to do anything with the regulator. Now definitely also make sure you keep your regulator not over pressurized. That means don't go to the chrono and try shooting 275. All these markers are designed to shoot 300. What I do is when I play, I actually ensure my marker I do not shoot over 276. That's just me. Okay, so now we get to put it all back. So same thing. Now at this point I do recommend using the Allens to put a lot of the parts back in. The reason why is so then you're not starting to wipe off the lube by accident. Okay, once it's in and you feel it snug, that's it. Don't torque it down. Don't try to force it. You're going to break it and you will cause damage. Okay? So, when it comes to putting back in the piston with the spring, I recommend holding it with an Allen and doing it this way. The reason why, so that then you can get it in a little smoother. You can even take it, and we'll see if we can get the camera in there, and slowly push down on the outer edges just to ensure it is in. When you need to put in the final spring, I recommend putting the Allen in until you fill it in the hole, dropping the spring in. That will make your spring go in straight. Very, very important. When you put a regulator back together, the springs need to be straight. You do not want the springs bent. You do not want the springs, tweaked. For example, a long time ago with my ProMaster, the LPR spring, if you didn't get it in straight and you started forcing it in, you stripped out your APR. So be very careful with the spring. So now, we're going to take the final piece. Once you get it in straight, push it down with your thumb to fill the spring to make sure it's in there. Now, we'll take the final heavy duty one. Now the only reason we're doing it like this right now is because of the fact that we have the spring in. Turn it half a turn to at least catch the threads, then flip the Allen and begin to screw it back in. Same thing, just turn it long enough for you to get it snugged. That is it. Right there, we're snug. That's it. Okay, believe it or not, we are done. So like we mentioned, I can't stress this enough, The main times you ever want to take apart your regulator is if you notice a leak. If one of the 3 holes gives you the indication that it's leaking. If you notice a bad chrono reading and you're shooting good paint, then you can do this. So, if you are interested in picking up one of these bad boys, I recommend Paintball Revolution at paintballrevolution.com. Call them before you place an order just to make sure they have the color you want in stock. Also, I recommend Pootie's Magic Lube. It does great on markers. Been using it for probably about 6 months now, and it fixes markers and O-rings pretty quick. So other than that, this is Jason with the Shocker RSX Regulator Maintenance video. Thank you very much for watching.